This wasn't the Harry he remembered from their childhood, the mischievous boy with a cheeky grin who would sneak into the kitchens for sweets or race him through the palace gardens. This was a man pale and motionless, his once vibrant spirit dimmed by years of pain and, now, by the weight of a truth too heavy to bear. William clenched his jaw as anger bubbled up inside him, not at Harry, but at the woman sitting outside in the waiting room. Megan. The name alone was enough to make his blood run cold. He wanted answers. He wanted to know how things had gone so wrong. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. But first, Harry needed him. Come on, mate, William whispered hoarsely. You can't let this be the end. You're stronger than this. You survived Mum's death, the press, the family fights. Don't let her break you now. Harry didn't move. William reached out, placing a hand gently on his brother's arm. For years, a chasm of misunderstandings and pride had kept them apart. But in this moment, none of that mattered. The only thing that mattered was pulling Harry back from the brink. As William kept vigil, Megan sat in the waiting area, her fingers gripping the edges of her chair so tightly her knuckles turned white. She had replayed her confession over and over in her mind, wondering if she could have delivered the truth in a way that wouldn't have shattered Harry so completely. But no matter how many ways she imagined it, the outcome was always the same. It had started the day Harry handed her the folded papers, his eyes distant, his voice calm. I spoke to a solicitor, he said. I want DNA testing for both of them. Megan froze. For a moment, she thought she had misheard him. Harry, why would you even say that? She asked carefully, trying to mask the panic rising in her chest. I need to know, Harry said simply. I love them. You know I do. But there have been questions. Things I can't ignore anymore. And if I don't get answers, it'll destroy me from the inside. Megan felt her world spin out of control. She had spent years meticulously crafting their life, shielding Harry from the truth because she believed it was the kinder choice. But now the walls were closing in, and there was no way out. You don't trust me, she said softly, tears welling in her eyes. I trust you, Harry replied, his voice breaking slightly. But I can't silence this voice in my head anymore. Please, Meg. If there's nothing to hide, then let's do the tests and put this to rest. Megan sat down across from him, her hands trembling. She stared at her husband, the man who had given up his titles, his country, even his family for her, and knew she couldn't keep the truth hidden any longer. There is something I have to tell you, she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. Harry's expression shifted from determination to confusion, then fear. When we decided on surrogacy, there were complications. You were under so much stress, and I didn't want to burden you. So I made a choice. Harry's brow furrowed. What choice? Megan swallowed hard, her throat dry. I used a sperm donor. The words hung in the air like a gunshot. Harry stared at her, his face a mask of disbelief. You what? I thought I was protecting you, Megan said, her voice breaking. I thought if we had healthy children and no one knew, it wouldn't matter. You wanted a family so badly, Harry. And you thought I wouldn't want them if I knew? Harry's voice was quiet, but each word dripped with anguish. No, I knew you would love them, but I didn't want you to feel less than. I didn't want the press to have another weapon to use against you, so I kept it from you. Harry stood abruptly, his chair scraping across the floor. His face was pale, his hands shaking violently. All this time, he whispered. All this time, and you let me believe. Megan reached for him, but he pulled away. Don't, he said, his voice low and strained. Don't touch me. She watched helplessly as he stumbled out of the room, his shoulders hunched, his steps unsteady. Hours later, when she went to check on him, she found him collapsed on the floor. And now, sitting in the hospital, Megan felt a chill seep into her bones. She had thought the truth would free them both, but instead, it had sent Harry spiraling into a darkness she wasn't sure he could return from. As the hours dragged on, Megan's phone buzzed with messages from advisors, friends, and even distant relatives. The story hadn't reached the press yet, but it was only a matter of time. She could already hear the headlines, Megan's deception, the secret that broke Prince Harry. The sound of footsteps pulled her from her thoughts. William had returned, his face ashen but composed. He's stable, William said shortly. For now. Megan let out a shaky breath of relief. But don't think this is over, William added coldly. If he wakes up, you're going to have to answer for what you've done. I know, Megan whispered, tears streaming down her cheeks. William's eyes softened for a fraction of a second, but the storm behind him didn't dissipate. For his sake, I hope he never hears your confession again, William said, because I'm not sure he'll survive it a second time. And with that, he turned and walked away, leaving Megan alone in the cold, suffocating silence. The hospital room was quiet except for the faint hum of machines and the soft beep of the heart monitor. Harry lay there, motionless, his chest rising and falling in shallow, uneven breaths. Tubes and wires snaked around his body, a stark contrast to the vibrant man the world once knew. To those who had followed his journey from boyhood to adulthood, the sight would have been almost unrecognizable.